So, online students, am I audible? Yes, today we'll see this topic, definition and universality of marriage. By this time, you would have definitely understood that marriage is a universally existing primary social institution. What does that mean? It is present in all societies. Every society is practicing one or the other type of marriages, isn't it? So it is universally existent. There is no society known to anthropology or anyone who is not having this marriage. So it is universally present. Functions are also universal. But the main challenge here is to give a definition which fits all types of marriages is a challenging thing. So a universal definition of marriage is not possible, even though it is a universally existing primary social institution, and its functions are also more or less similar in all societies. So this is the crux of the topic. So in this particular topic we will see some definitions given by various scholars to define marriage, and then we will see certain exceptions, and then we can conclude. You get my point? So we will write some definitions of marriage. Please, before that one, please write. Marriage is a universally existing primary social institution and its functions are also more or less similar across all the societies. Across all the societies. See, if you are okay, can we make it 24? Okay, thank you. Some definitions given by various anthropologists are given below. George Peter Murdoch defined marriage as a universal institution that includes residential cohabitation, economic cooperation, cohabitation, economic cooperation, and formation of a nuclear family. Westermarck defined marriage as a recognized union between a man and a woman and that the couple are given exclusive rights of cohabitation and clearly defined sexual rights. Earlier we have seen Richard B. Lee, no? Richard B. Lee defined marriage as a socially sanctioned sexual relationship. Socially sanctioned sexual relationship. Robert H. Louis defined marriage as a relatively permanent bond between permissible mates. Malinowski defined marriage as a social contract for production and maintenance of children. After studying Todas, he redefined marriage as a contract through which women is given a socially recognized husband and her children a socially recognized father. According to Kathleen Goud defined marriage as a relationship between a woman and one or more men. Under such circumstances, the children born to her are given birth rights and status equivalent to other members of the society. Radcliffe Brown defined marriage as a social arrangement by which children are given legitimate status in the society determined by parenthood in social sense. Determined by parenthood in social sense. Yes. Next paragraph you write. In general, we can define marriage as a universally existing primary social institution through which male gets the status of husband, and female gets the status of wife. In order to produce legitimate offspring or legitimate children. Exceptions. So generally these definitions which you have seen may fit one or two types of marriages, but not all types of marriages. If we know the variability of these marriage practices, then we can say that these definitions are not universal in nature. So what are those? Like say for example in Ajande, some Ajandes practice male marriages. Please write exceptions. Some Ajandes practice male marriages. If it is between two males, any of the definitions which we have seen earlier are null and void, isn't it? Some New Year's practice female marriages. Some New Year's practice female marriages. Nayars of Kerala. Yeah. See, yesterday we have seen about these Nayars. They used to practice a ceremony known as Thali Kattu Kalyanam. So what is this? A boy and girl of the age 7 to 8 years, they get married, and after spending 3 nights together, they are separated by giving a holy bath, after which they do not come together again. Now after the girl reaches her adulthood, then she starts producing children with visiting husbands who were also separated from their wives in similar manner. But the children so born are considered to be the children of the person whom she married during her childhood. You get my point? Maybe by considering this, Kathleen Gow, she defined marriage after studying Nayars only. So Kathleen Gow definition only fits here, but other other definitions may not take into account this particular thing, isn't it? So please write. Nayars practice Tali Kattu Kalyanam. Tali Kattu Kalyanam. In this type of marriage, a boy and girl of 7 to 8 years of age are married. They are allowed to spend 3 nights together after which they are given a holy bath. And are separated forever. After the girl reaches her adulthood, she starts producing children with the help of visiting husbands who were separated from their wives, in similar manner. The children so born to her are considered to be the children of the person whom she married at her young age. The children so born are given full birth rights and status equivalent to other members of the society. Todas of Nilgiris. A plural. It can be like not one, can be many. Visiting husbands, you can write. Not visiting husband, visiting husbands. It can be more than one.
So the who married not make it in the cultural.
It's a cultural thing only. Yes.
Cultural restriction.
Cultural restriction.
What is the concept of school?
Yeah, Todas of Nilgiris. Yes. Any questions? Yesterday we have seen, no, if a person is not able to father children, then his wife can take the permission of the husband and can produce children with the help of a priest. And again, the children so born are considered to be the children of the person only, like her husband. So here, in social sense, father is someone, biological sense, father is someone else, isn't it? So please write Todas. If a person is not able to father children, if a person is not able to father children, then his wife can take the permission and produce children with the help of a priest. The children so born are considered to be the children of her husband. You getting my point? Khasas of Uttarakhand or lower foothills of Himalaya. Khasas. Here also we have seen, no, when the woman is in her mother's residence, she can produce children with anyone she likes. But when she is in her husband's residence, she can only produce children with the help of her husband. You get my point? So please write Khasas. When the woman resides in her mother's residence, she is known as Danti. Where she can produce children, with anyone she likes. When she is in her husband's residence, she is referred to as Hanti. Where she can produce children with the help of Hanti. You did not write that? Hanti, Hanti. Where she can produce children with the help of her husband only. With the help of her husband. See, some Nagas practice polygyny. So in this, those who are practicing polygyny, if the father dies, then his eldest son should marry all the wives of his father except his biological mother. So that is in some Nagas. So please write. Some Nagas practice polygyny. In case the father dies, his eldest son should marry all the wives of his father except biological mother. Yes. Next one. Vannibago Red Indians. See here, a woman before marrying, she has to produce a child from one of her relatives. Only then she can marry and produce children with her husband. So that is in case of Vannibago Red Indians. So you can write a woman before marrying should produce a child with one of her relatives. You get my point? Only then she can marry someone and produce children with her husband. So this is the custom here. See, in some African and communities of Orissa, there are marriages known as fictive marriages, where they marry a plant or an animal. So even in our what is a custom also, we can see if there are certain doshas, what they'll do, they'll marry a plant or an animal and then marry the person, isn't it? So that it is the dosha will be gone along with this one. But here it is customary to marry a plant and an animal in some African and Orissa communities. Please write. In some African and communities of Orissa, they practice fictive marriages. Fictive marriages. In this type of marriage, they marry either plant or animal. You get my point? So these are one type. You can say ghost marriages. See, ghost marriages are nothing but a type of levirate. We have seen, no, like after the husband dies, she is marrying one of the younger or elder brothers of the dead husband, and the children so born to this new couple are considered to be the children of the dead husband. These are also known as ghost marriages, which is also practiced in some New Years. New Year is a very big community, just like Nagas. Nagas have 61 or 63 different variations with the sub-ethnic groups within Naga. If you consider Naga as a bigger ethnic group, within them they have various sub-ethnic groups. In every sub-ethnic group, they have cultural practices which are unique to themselves, isn't it? Likewise, here also some New Years practice this ghost marriages, isn't it? You can write it. See, ghost marriages, yesterday we have seen, no, like some New Years are practicing levirate. So after the death of the husband, his wife is marrying one of the elder or younger brothers, and the children so born to this new couple are considered to be the children of the dead husband. Such marriages are ghost marriages, and such families are known as ghost families. Please write. Yes, that is what also applies to surrogate. No, no, whatever I'm not saying, it's not applicable to surrogate. Okay. So what if it is recorded, we would definitely discuss this, but it is only in regards with leverage. Yes, please write. After the death of the husband, if the woman marries a man, if woman marries one of the elder or younger brothers, one of the elder or younger brothers of the dead husband, such marriages are referred to as levirate or ghost marriages. The children so born are considered to be the children of the dead husband. So this is one of the ghost marriages based on levirate. But in some Chinese, they marry a dead person purposefully, so that the person who marries will inherit the property of the dead person. At the same time, the dead person will have a wife in afterlife. That means after death, they are believing that they have a life after death. So after death, the person has a partner. So this is practiced in some Chinese communities. We can write it here only under ghost marriage. This is one based on levirate, and the other one is what I am going to say now. In some Chinese communities, a dead person is married. A dead person is married so that the person can have a spouse in the afterlife. Spouse in the afterlife. At the same time, the person who married can inherit the property of the dead partner or spouse. Yes. Sham or fake marriages. We know this, no? In some modern societies, in order to get the permanent residence, they get into a contractual marriage. So after the purpose is served, they dissolve the marriage. Isn't it? Sham or fake marriage. These are contractual marriages. These are contractual marriages. And this marriage is dissolved after the purpose is achieved. After the purpose is achieved. Isn't it? LGBT marriages. These are practiced in modern societies, referred to as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender marriages. Next one, sologamy. Sologamy. It is marrying self. Marrying self. It is marrying self. Marriages with robot. Marriages with robot. Next one. Marriages with robot. Robot. I think no need to explain this now. So now you can see variability of marriage practices in primitive or tribal societies and modern societies. So considering these many variations, it is really challenging to give a universal definition for marriage, isn't it? And that is why a universal definition of marriage seems to be quite challenging in nature. And also the individual expectation for marriage also is keeping on changing, so it adds more difficulty to get a universal definition, isn't it? So please write. Due to variability of marriage practices, in simple and modern societies, it is quite challenging. It is quite challenging to have a universal definition for marriage. In modern era, the individual expectation of marriage seems to be changing. So it adds more difficulty to define marriage. So it can be concluded that even though marriage is a universally existing social institution, a universal definition for marriage Seems to be difficult. Seems to be challenging, you right? Seems to be challenging. Yes? Any questions you have, you can ask.